Hi class, how you guys doing? All right, welcome to week 8. Here we are wrapping things up, guys. So, um, I just kind of want to go through this hit list, kind of this inventory, right? And I want you to contact me if there's anything on this list that you don't feel completely comfortable, where you don't feel you have a high level of proficiency. So let's go through the hit list, and I'll just briefly describe. Then we'll go through this week, and we'll wrap things up. Okay. So resolution. That's screen resolution versus print resolution. Print at 300, screen at 72, or therein that range. Then we have color mode, specifically RGB for screen, CMYK for print. File setup techniques in Photoshop, non-destructive editing techniques, which we've been talking about really since week 1. Advanced selection techniques, advanced masking techniques, adjustment layers, blending modes, type effects, digital artistry, specifically painting techniques using the blending brush, advanced compositing techniques, which we've been really going through the entire session, image retouching, image repair, image restoration, smart objects and smart filters, actions, sharpening for output, output techniques, vanishing point filters, and other presentation mock-up techniques. And then, of course, staying relevant by keeping abreast with new techniques and new versions of Photoshop. Okay, so this week we're going to take a look at the relevance of presentation. So let's go ahead and take a look at this week's. So we have this week's overview. So I'm not going to go through that. That's self-explanatory, right? This presentation presenting your work, I've got that open. Where is it? It's right here. Okay, read this, guys. It's really, really important. I can tell you that. And I receive I literally probably go through several hundred student portfolios per year in one capacity or another. And one of the things that I see that really propels student designers to a level higher than the competition is the way that work is presented in a portfolio. Once you complete your design work, it's not enough just to show it in basically a flat surface. It's a better idea to place your work in context so that the viewer has a chance to see how the work might behave in an indigenous setting. Okay, so for example, in a poster project, you're done with the poster. You've got it sharpened. You've got everything done ready for output. You want to mock it up, or you want to show it. So do we just place it in our portfolio or in our presentation folder? You could, but really a much more engaging technique is to mock it up. So you actually place it in a live setting. Okay, and this is really important because as I said before, it allows the viewer to see the work in an indigenous setting. In context, so to speak. So in the poster, for example, you have a 24 by 36 poster and you just show it as a PDF file of the poster. You're not really giving the viewer an opportunity to see the work in context. Now, if we mock it up in context, in a ratio that would be indicative of that 24 by 36, and we place it on a wall in a live setting, now you're allowing the viewer to really see the work in context, including what it looks like in an indigenous setting and what it looks like as intended in a way that's more engaging than just looking at the PDF of the poster. So it's really, really important. And I think, honestly, the best portfolios I see in one way or another place the images in a setting that is able to be viewed in context, as opposed to just giving PDFs of the work. Okay, I want to give you some examples for us in a second, but these are some really great techniques. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. Okay, so you have your billboard, right? So there's your billboard. Instead of just showing a PDF of the flat version of your billboard, you take a photograph and you mock it up. Okay, now the viewer gets to see exactly what this looks like in context, in scale, okay, and in a live setting. We use a tool called a vanishing point filter in Photoshop, and it's an excellent tool. There's also many mock-up sites out there, mock-up downloads that you can use too. I'll go over that in 1 second. But please be sure to review this video. um, how to use the vanishing point filter in Photoshop, and just kind of follow this idea here. Wrap your head around how important it is to present your work in context. Then we have this cloning on perspective, which is also pretty relevant in terms of using that tool. So be sure, please be sure to go through this presentation a couple of times and work that technique. I'd love to see your final work mocked up. In other words, we have the poster, we have the billboard, and we have the web banner. So instead of just showing those as flat PDFs, let's mock them up. Let me show you an example. Okay, here's a great example of a mock-up for a billboard. That's an excellent example. Then over here, here's a nice example. Here's some good examples for posters. Let me see. There's a nice one. Something like that. So you can see there's the wall. There's a door. So we have this in context. We can see how big it is. There's other techniques and other ways as well as really mocking these up in a beautiful way to put them in context. Okay, and then we have the banner where you would mock up a computer, maybe even a website page, and you would place the banner in the website page. So I do want to draw your attention over here to, let's go back here. Let's come right over here. And I do want to draw your attention to these three resources that will all help you in understanding how to use PSD mockups. There are some mockups that you can use as template, and that's fine. Basically what you do is you download the template. It's an image, and you replace the image in the template with your own image. So if you download, let's say, for example, you download a template for a billboard mock-up, there will be an image of the billboard in scale and perspective. And what you do with those templates is you just replace the image with your image, and it will take on the lighting and perspective attributes of the template. So it's a really effective way to go through things. Look those up. Here's some billboard mock-ups, and here's some vanishing point filter mock-up video as well. So again, I really implore you to present your work in context this week. Very important. Okay, learning outcomes, week 8 tasks. The rest is pretty much self-explanatory. Now, I do want to end on this course evaluation. I'm really pretty adamant about really getting all students in the class to fill out the course evaluation. I think it's really important. It really helps me to fine-tune my approach and to make adjustments for upcoming classes. It's all in the name of learning. So I really ask you guys, please do me a big favor, and let's round out this class on a positive note by everybody taking the course evaluation. So the course evaluation, you'll be receiving an email here any day now with information for your feedback about the evaluation of the course. Please take a few minutes to complete that. Now, as you guys know, I'm a pretty engaged instructor. I mean, I'm in every day. I give video critiques for pretty much everything in the class. So I would like your feedback in that regard to be reflected. Do you appreciate the learning style? Do you appreciate the course content, and did you learn? And that's the most important thing. So please take a few minutes to fill out the course evaluation. And at this point, I just want to thank everybody. I think we've had a wonderful class. I really do. And that's in large part due to the level of engagement, the level of effort, and the level of participation by the student body here in our class. So you guys, great big pat on your own backs because you've done a wonderful job. I think the group as a whole is performing outstanding, and the projects will attest to that. So again, guys, great class. Thank you very much. Now I want to wrap this up by saying that just because the class is getting ready to finish doesn't mean that this student-instructor relationship has to cease. It doesn't. I invite all my students to keep my contact information. Let me know in the future moving forward. And any of your educational needs, I'm here for you. That includes, critiques, advice, etc. Or if you just want to, say hi in a few months, that's great too. I've got a lot of students that still contact me long after the class is over and long after they've graduated. I mean, I've been keeping in contact with some students for over 10 and 12 years. So I just invite you to do the same. You don't have to, of course, but if you're interested, I certainly am. Nothing like building our networks, right? All right, guys, great. Thank you very much. Welcome to week 8. I'll see you guys in class. Any questions, comments, concerns, and of course, any clarifications, please let me know, and I'll be glad to provide any of the above in that regard. All right, guys, see you in class. Thank you very much.